Maximize your potential and focus on your performance. Look into your future and power up your purpose. Power people, let's change our mindset, people. Let's empower people to see all their potential when they power up and make your official. Maximize your performance and focus on your potential. Look into your future and power up your purpose.
Power Up Show, maximize your potential, where innovation meets transformation. And you have one goal. And what's that, Cheryl?
That's to power up.
This is the New Year's edition, the first show of the new year 2021. So I don't know about you, but I'm extremely excited today, Cheryl. Aren't you?
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I can't even sit still. I'm just like this. I can't sit still.
I know that's right. So look, I'm your host, Eric.
And I'm Cheryl.
And we are excited to be here today with you on Inspire Magazine, Dreamspire TV, because we have an incredible guest who's going to join us today. Tiara Tucker. Now, she has many titles and leadership roles and responsibilities, but among the ones, she is the founder and CEO of Tiara PR Network, LLC, and Speak That Movement, Incorporated. And today we're going to have an opportunity to chat with her today about how she has been using her voice and platform to help others combat mental health roadblocks and social injustice detours, and how she helps professional women use their voice and live their best lives. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss what we have in store right after the break. All right, welcome back to the Power Up Show, Maximize Your Potential with Cheryl and Eric. Now listen, be sure to like us on Facebook at Power Up Maximize Your Potential, and check out our recent posts that include motivational tips and best practices to help you maximize your potential. And you can also see some of our amazing guests that we have as well.
Amazing guests in 2020 and looking forward to 2021. We just got some more amazing guests. But I want to share with you about Tiara Tucker. She wears many tiaras, just to name a few. She's a PR strategist, empowering international speaker. She's an event creator, a host, a panel moderator, an empowerment life coach, social justice activist, a mental health advocate, a philanthropist, and the visionary founder and CEO of Tiara PR Network and Speak That Movement. She's also had almost 2 decades of experience as a corporate communicator with a Fortune 500 company. And she's most noted for her PR experiences, which include her battle in social justice. So we are really, really excited. And we're going to talk about Speak That Movement because I had an opportunity to be a part of her podcast. And Eric, you know, we always talk about relationships.
That's right.
Yes, so she and I actually had a chance to meet, and it's a great, great movement, but she's done some incredible things, and she continues to do this. So, Tiara, come on and join us.
Hello, 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 everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
First, we have to get it right. Is it Tiara or Tiara?
Tiara.
Tiara.
But I accept either one, but it's Tiara.
Tiara.
Well, we want you to power up, so we want it to be Tiara.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Thank you for having me.
We're gonna call you what they call you.
Tiara, that's right.
So, Tiara, tell us about. I want to start first with something that is, I know, so dear to your heart. and that is the Speak That movement. So tell us about, where did this originate from? What made you birth this movement?
Yes. Well, thank you for asking. And also thank you both for having me, Eric and Cheryl. It is definitely a pleasure. So Speak That movement is actually a 501c3 now. So I'm excited to say that I was able to end 2020 during a global pandemic with the evolution of Speak That into a 501c3 charitable organization. Thank you.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah. So to give you some background, Speak That started actually January 1st, 2011 is when I got the vision to host an event. And it really started with just a vision and idea to host an event. And so I decided to host an event in the town that I lived in at the time, which is called Bloomington Normal, Illinois. So I had a spoken word Grammy Award winning artist named Malik Youssef, who I was spending New Year's Eve and New Year's Day with him and some other folks. And I said, hey, you should come to Bloomington and we should do an event together. And I remember Malik said, we'll make it happen. So give me a challenge, I'm going to make it happen. So sure enough, I worked on it and I had an event scheduled for that February. So 1 month later, and then there was a blizzard in Illinois. So then we postponed it and we had it in March. So March 2nd, 2011 was the very first Speak That event. And it was truly intended to be a community event where I had local talent come in, entertainers. I had an MC who is actually now one of the stars of Chicago PD. Also, I had a DJ and the media came out. And the exciting part of the event is that people in the audience, when they would hear something from the stage that moved them or inspired them, they would yell out, "Speak That." So I realized then that there was something catchy with that Speak That. So I kept going. I started partnering with other community organizations. There were the Speak That open mic nights. There was a Speak That book and author showcase. And then there was Speak That happy hours. And so then at that point, I would like to say that God moved me. He transitioned me to Dallas, Texas for another step of my actual corporate career. So when I came to Dallas, where I have been since 2012, I kind of put Speak That on the shelf. And then I ended up finally saying, you know what? I want to see what I can do with Speak That, because like I like to tell people, when you have a baby, when you have a vision, you might want to put it to the side, but eventually it's going to come back and you're going to want to bring it back out. And that's what I did. So since 2016, I've had events in Dallas and they evolved. So it's not just the spoken word version of speaking. It is now the empowering and inspiring and motivating word of speaking with the power of words. So I've had guest speakers actually come to Dallas when we've had events when we could go to venues, right, in the old world. But now in this new world, I've had virtual events. So Speak That movement events that have been virtual with different speakers. There's Speak That movement novelties. There's the empowerment calendar, t-shirts, masks, you name it. So that's what it is. Empowering, uplifting, and connecting with the focus now on women, mental health, and social justice.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. There is no rest in your world, right?
No, I love it though.
Well,
so now Speak That movement. I do have one question. So I have several questions, but I'm going to ask you one. So for professional women, how does Speak That movement, how does that infuse into their lives? What is it that you want them to get from this movement that you've created?
Yeah, so when Speak That started, it was really intended for just anybody, men, women, there was no focus on women in particular. But I noticed that when I moved to Dallas, it naturally evolved to, the majority of the people that would come to the events were women. The majority of the speakers were women. I'm a woman. And so it just naturally gravitated towards women. And so when I decided to evolve to the 501c3, well, we wanted to make it a little bit more focused, right? Because although a man in business and a woman in business may have similar issues or circumstances, women, we're just different, right? We're wired differently. So I decided to focus on women. And not only supporting women and celebrating women, professional women in business, but also acknowledging that there are things that we deal with, whether it's in the workplace, outside of the workplace, as aunts. I'm an aunt, I'm not a parent, but as parents, aunts, grandparents, you name it, as community people. So the focus is on mental health, right? We deal with stress, we deal with anxiety, we deal with depression, but also how do we overcome it? You know, how can I bring in a speaker who may speak words that can help us overcome obstacles? Someone that's transparent enough to share what they went through and how their story, their spoken word can help someone else. And then the social justice piece, it really came naturally because on the PR side of my life, I've worked with some high profile civil rights attorneys on some cases. And that's when I really had my eyes open to the social justice piece, not just with police brutality, which is what I've worked on, but just in general. There are social injustices that we experience even in the workplace. So that's where the focus, it became women and social injustice and mental health, and also encouraging women to use their voice. Because if we saw anything in 2020, we realized that there are some really blatant things that are taking place in America. And sometimes people don't feel like they can talk about it. They don't feel like they should talk about it. But you have to use your voice. It's your authentic voice. So that's the other piece of Speak That movement. We want to encourage people. Use your voice, obviously respectfully and professionally, depending on your environment, but your voice matters.
Yeah, amen to that. Amen to that. And, you know, one of the things that really piqued my interest is about mindfulness. You mentioned a few times, just a few moments ago, about mental health and things like that. I'm curious about if you could talk a little bit more about the importance of mindfulness. I mean, last year during COVID, even this year, you know, I think a lot of people are just, you know, hunkered down. We've got a lot of anxiety. Can you talk about how you are really specifically helping professional women or anybody with mindfulness and help them address their mental health issues?
Yeah, so I will say, just to give a little background, I was introduced to the concept of mindfulness actually in 2019. So in 2019, I found myself experiencing anxiety and I was embarrassed. I was in denial because I'm like, I'm living my best life, right? I'm in Dallas. Life is good. Things are working out. But at the same time, I was reminded that it doesn't matter how great life is. Anybody can face mental issues, right? But it's so taboo, you know, we don't want to talk about it. But at the end of the day, I had to address mine because I wanted to truly live my best life. And so what I found myself doing was escaping. I took a month off of work. I know that sounds like a lot, but I felt like, one, I had the time, and two, I was more concerned about me being my better self, because if I'm not showing up, and it doesn't matter, you know, if I'm not showing up with my A game, then there's nothing that I could really do to the level that I know I can do it at. So I escaped to Denver, Colorado. And when I was in Denver, I learned about mindfulness. I learned about mindfulness when I went to a church service that day. I learned about mindfulness when hiking in the mountains, when I did a mindfulness hike. I did mindfulness yoga at the Garden of Gods. I went to a session where I did mindfulness meditation. I did not know about this concept. So then when I came back to Dallas after my escape in Denver, I started learning more about it. And then I decided I wanted to get a certificate in mindfulness. So I started learning and I got a certificate in mindfulness. But what I learned about mindfulness is it's really just taking the moment to just be in the moment, right? It's pausing. It's taking in everything around us, right? It's not being overly consumed. It's not getting too far ahead of yourself. You know, it's taking a walk when you just need a break, but not just walking the walk, but walking to observe what's going on around you. And there's so many other elements of mindfulness. So when I think about what I'm doing with Speak That movement, my plan in 2021 is to actually bring out the mindfulness aspects even more. But even with the talk show, as I like to call it, Speak That Talks, where Cheryl was a guest, that actually was really an act of mindfulness as well. I thought I was just pausing on May 7th to have a live show just to talk about things that were going on around us, Ahmaud Arbery, quarantine life, the pandemic. I thought I was pausing and inviting other people to join me for a live conversation. But what happened after May 7th, we're now at week 36 of pausing to bring people together, to talk, to share their feelings about things, to know that your voice matters. So that's where we are.
Wow. That is incredible. That is incredible. I think, that really resonates with a lot of people. And I guess it's no surprise that so many people are just affiliated with the whole Speak That movement. You're speaking to a lot of people, especially me, being a guy here. But this is such a great discussion, though. This really is. But we're going to pause briefly. We're going to take a quick break. So stay tuned. We're going to talk more with Tiara, and we're going to learn more about how she's helping others dream big during this moment of disruption. All right, welcome back. We've been talking with Tiara Tucker, the founder and CEO of Tiara PR Network LLC and Speak That movement. We've had a really good conversation before the break, and you've got a lot of things going on, a lot of things. And I'm curious, out of all the things that you've been working on, you've acquired a lot of leadership skills. It's obvious of that. So, what would you say? What specific leadership skills do you think has helped you persevere, especially right now during this moment of disruption?
That's a great question. I will say resiliency, right? When I think about 2020, and I know that 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us, right? And now we're stepping into 2021, and 2021 has already kicked off. United States of America showing what kind of drama we bring to the table, right? But in the midst of the chaos, right, I didn't stop. I was resilient. I was persistent. I was committed. I knew that I was walking in my purpose when I was doing things like Speak That movement, when I was waking up and every Thursday sitting in the same seat. Well, I would change seats sometimes, right, to change the area in the house. But when I would record Speak That Talks every Thursday since May 7th, that was commitment, consistency, persistence. And I think that is a great leadership trait. And then I go back to the resiliency because when you can bounce back, okay, maybe you have an internet issue, maybe you're disturbed by what you just saw on TV, but you're still able to keep moving forward, not hiding what's going on, but being able to keep moving forward. So I think that that's a few of the traits that I think were strengthened within me in 2020 because of the circumstances around me. And those are the traits that I want to carry over into 2021. People have dreams out there. I get it. I've had dreams and I would do it. Okay, this is cool. And I would just whatever. But when you really have something in you and you know that you're walking in your purpose or you're doing what you love, don't stop. Just keep pushing forward. And that's what I decided to do.
I love that. I love that. And especially with the whole resilience thing, I think you being resilient and a lot of people using that same trait, I think it really positions people, especially like you, to really dominate 2021. So Tiara, what excites you the most about this year, about 2021? What are you excited about the most?
I'm excited about 2021 because I know what I put into 2020, right? Like, I don't feel anybody owes me anything, because I know that in 2020, I felt like I owed myself everything. I owed myself. I felt like I owed the people that listened in. So I poured in, and I'm not just exaggerating. I poured in so much into 2020. It was one of the first years where I invested in myself professionally, personally. I spent money to invest, not just to benefit me, because when you're walking in your purpose, it doesn't benefit you. I invested so that I can be a blessing to other people. I invested my time. I invested my resources. So I knew, and this isn't being arrogant, this is being confident. I knew that when you pour in so much, you are probably going to reap what you sow. And I saw at the end of 2020, I saw blessings come. I saw people that were watching Speak That Talks that I didn't even know were watching. I saw people who were willing to donate to the Speak That movement when I announced that it was a 501c3. You know, I got a new job at my corporate 50 company. So I just saw the manifestation of the hard work. So I say that to say, now that we've entered into 2021, this same momentum I've carried forward, because I proved to myself that if I work hard, if I remain committed, dedicated, and resilient, that I can reap even more benefits and be a blessing to even more people. Actually, to kick off my 2021 with my first guest, I have an international guest, someone from Zimbabwe, Africa, living in the United Kingdom. What that showed me is that when you do something with the little, God will expand your territory. The connections will increase. So now I'm stepping into 2021 with an international guest, which means international followers and international supporters. So that's the energy that I have in 2021. I'm not stopping.
Power up.
Did you feel that energy?
Up, right?
Oh my gosh.
And I mean, I'm saying that with so much excitement, because it's funny that you say Power Up, which is your show, but 2020 to me was a level up year. I'm going to say that 2021 is a power up year.
There you go.
Right. All right. That's awesome. That is awesome.
It's so nice to have you on the show. This is our first show for 2021, and you have set the stage with this, this passion, this heightened sense of awareness, this ability to just let people know that are listening to this, it's a new game. You have an opportunity to literally rewrite your narrative. And so what does that look like for you? So thank you for coming on and being our first guest for 2021 and just putting it out there and saying, look, this is what the deal is. I think this is amazing. I love that. Now, Tiara, for your PR network, tell us about this. How are you helping companies through your marketing divisions?
Yeah, so just to give you all a little idea about Tiara PR Network. So I like to say that Tiara PR Network really just started when I was just doing things that I love to do. I was always probably talking, editing for people, writing, communicating. I have my degrees in communications and PR and everything. So it's really just something that I feel like I love to do. I naturally can do. So one day I decided to just put a name on it, like Beyonce says, put a ring on it. I put a name on it and I called it Tiara PR Network. And then I decided to make it official. So in 2019, it became an LLC. And so naturally, I just organically started working with different people, different clients emerged. But I would say the most significant clients that have emerged, or people that I have worked with, have been some of the civil rights attorneys when I became their PR director for a major police brutality case. And that really it took things to a different level, I feel, because I was really, really exposed and working with the media outlets from ABC, National, NBC, CBS, CNN. At one point, I'll never forget the day that I sent out my first press release for this particular case. And within minutes, every major media outlet in the country was texting or calling me or emailing me. And it helped me realize, wow, you know, how the PR game really works when it's something that the media wants to talk about, right? And so I find myself having people that reach out to me, and, you know, sometimes people want that same exposure, and the reality is it's a game, right? And I say that meaning PR it takes strategy, and I consider myself a PR strategist because there are a lot of people who have written books, and I respect and love all of them, but not every book is going to make it to, you know, a CNN segment or on, you know, the next major platform. But that doesn't mean that that book doesn't matter. So I say that to say, I started to really think about, what do I want my area of PR to be, right? And that doesn't mean that I wouldn't want to work on every single situation, but I just found myself mainly in 2020 where I was focused more on the social justice space of PR. And so I don't know what 2020 will hold, right? But that is really, I think, where I landed in 2020 in that particular space. And so again, you know, PR events, communications, editing, writing, and even with Speak That Talks, that is definitely a layer of PR, because when I bring on different guests from all over the country and now outside of the country, there's a level of PR involved, because I'm creating the flyers that will market the event. I'm posting about the people. I'm talking about the people. So there are levels of PR even in doing that. So even when I thought I was running away from PR for a moment, it's still there.
I know that's right.
Yes, Cheryl, I know you're saying something really amazing.
Yeah, I was just going to add in there. Yeah, we're having trouble hearing you, Cheryl.
Okay. Go ahead.
I know Cheryl, she wanted to ask you the power up card. I think she's got that available. Cheryl, if you can hear me, do you think you can bring up one of the power up cards and have Tiara pick from one and answer that? So so this is what we do each show. We've got these power up cards. So virtually select any card that you want, and whatever one you select, you're gonna answer that question, whatever that is.
Love
right?
it.
So you got to actually act it out like you're gonna pick the card.
Oh, okay. I love that. My drama lessons from high school are I don't know which one I'm grabbing.
All right. I'm not sure if we can hear her, but I hope she puts it to the screen. Maybe we can see it. Let's see.
What are you working toward that you can use help?
She said, what are you working towards?
Oh,
there it is.
What are you working towards that you could use help with?
Oh, wow.
That's a good question. So I love that question, because especially for all of you out there like myself, who we're so used to doing everything on our own, right? I've learned the power of connecting with others. And also, I would say in 2021, I really want, I guess, more people involved that can help push the movement forward. So whether that's volunteers when we get out in the communities to empower people, community engagement events that we have in the works for 2021. Also, I'm going to throw this out there because closed mouths don't get fed. I love that intro video that you all have for Power Up. So I could use help with having my very own intro video for Speak That Talk. So more of those types of things I would love to have.
Okay. We could definitely talk about that. Absolutely. That's a great response, though. I mean, not everyone is, can check that blind spot, things that they need help with. So I'm glad you were able to be open with us and letting us know and share that with all of our viewers. That's definitely pretty awesome. And this was a great way to kick off our first Power Up show of the new year. It's been great having you on our show, Tiara. I mean, I just can't. Right now, I'm energized. I thought that I had an extra shot of adrenaline just by 2021, but I mean, you're speaking my language, and I think you're talking to a lot of people that are tuning into this show that really, really can benefit from it. Looks like we have Cheryl back too. Cheryl, are you with us?
I am. I don't know what's going on with technology. This is 2021. My word for 2021 is possible. Anything's possible.
So yeah, I was just I was just congratulating and thanking Tiara for being on the show. Did you have any other parting words?
Absolutely. Thank you. It has been such a pleasure to have you on the show. The message that you're spreading and what you're doing, even in the midnight hours, because I know that you are working way into the midnight hours just to make sure that, to your point, right, you are consistent, you are just diligent, and you are making sure that people have access. And that's what people want, is that they want access to know that it's okay to feel what I'm feeling.
Yes.
And so thank you for doing that. And thank you for being on the Power Up Show.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. And if I can just close out with this, the 4 pillars of Speak That Movement are dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it. So on every show with Speak That Talks, I like to encourage people. And if I can just encourage your Power Up audience in 2021, dream it, people. Dream so big that it scares you, and believe it. Believe that everything that you're wanting, desiring, asking, praying for can come to pass. But you have to also speak it. And I love to say, speak it into the atmosphere, speak it into existence, and also speak life over yourself. We already saw that 2020 was rough. 2020 was a roller coaster. And you know what? We have to be optimistic about 2021. So speak life over yourself. When you're watching CNN and you're seeing chaos happening, you know what? Speak life over it. Speak life over the situations, the circumstances, and everything else. And last but not least, walk it. Walk it in 2021. Walk it by faith. Walk by sight. Walk is the action. Walk is the doing it. And when you walk it, baby steps, leaps, bounds, whatever you choose, just walk it and know that every step is making a difference. So thank you all so much for having me, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to
Happy
you
New
too.
Year to you too.
Thank you.
And we'll be seeing you again soon, I know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And where can we get access to the Speak That information, the material that you have, all the products, all those things?
Yeah, I would love for you all to go to the website. Actually, I have 2 websites. One of them is Speak That Movement, and that's the newer website. So it's www.speakthatmovement.com. And that's where you can learn more about Speak That Movement. There's an opportunity to support Speak That Movement as a 501c3 charitable organization, as well as if you want to volunteer and be a part of the movement. And also you can go to the Speak That Movement boutique, and that's where you see the empowerment calendar and other items. And there will be more items that will be added to the boutique really soon. And then also you can see the links to all of the social media outlets right from the Speak That Movement site, including the YouTube page on Speak That Movement on YouTube and Facebook. And you can even learn more about Speak That Talk. So if any of the Power Up Show listeners are ever interested in being a guest speaker, maybe you have a message that you want to share, then you can also go to the Speak That Movement website. And then if you want to learn more about the PR firm, then you can go to www.tiara.prnetwork.com. And that's the PR website.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have an amazing day.
Yes, you too. Thank you both. Bye, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Power up in 2021.
That's right.
Oh my gosh, what an amazing guest.
Yes.
So phenomenal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was a great show. I can't think of a better way to kick off 2021, seriously.
Right.
That was just awesome. Definitely enjoyed that show.
Yeah, dream it, believe it, speak it, and walk it.
That's right.
That's what you got to do.
That's right.
That's what
That's
you
right.
got to do. Well, you know, with all good things, right?
Yeah.
Things must come to an end.
Unfortunately, but we'll be back next week though, so it's all good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? You guys got to join us. Okay, so here it is, 2021. I want you to set your calendars on Tuesdays, EST, Eastern Standard Time at 6:30 p.m. on Dreamspire TV. And I'm not even going to tell them yet, Eric. I'm not going to tell them yet.
Oh, no, not yet. No. I know where you're going. I can't wait either. We got to hold them in suspense.
Okay, I'm not going to tell you yet, but stay tuned. Definitely join our Facebook because you will find out about it on Power Up, Maximize Your Potential, the Facebook group, probably before anybody else, as to what's going to happen by the end of January because I'm going to keep talking and I'm going to let it out of the bag. So I'm going to be quiet.
Yep, not yet.
And say thank you so much for joining us. Definitely join us on our Facebook at Power Up, Maximize Your Potential, and email us. And if you've got a question, if you've got a comment, if you're in a business and there's something that you want to hear about, I'm sure we have a guest that can actually bring some light to you. So definitely do that at powerupshowtv@gmail.com. Go to our YouTube channel at Dreamspire TV, Facebook, and then also on mspire.com and Mspire Magazine. So we look forward to you joining us there. And thank you so much for joining us for 2020. And we look forward to you being with us in 2021 because it is only going up.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You all have a great one. Remember, this is the only place where innovation meets transformation. And you have one goal. And what's that, Cheryl?
That's to power up.
All right. Happy New Year, y'all.